Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today, when this video goes out, it is officially 6 months since I came to Australia, which just seems absolutely insane to me. Like, I cannot believe that I've been here 6 months. That has flown by. But I thought, in honor of me being here 6 months, that I would do a little kind of travel tips and tricks video for you. So I've got my little coffee and let's just get right into it. So I'm going to explain my trip so far to you. So we started in Sydney on May 27th and we stayed there for a week. We also did the Blue Mountains while we were there, and then we headed up to the east coast, like Byron Bay, the Gold Coast, Fraser Island, Ellie Beach, Cairns. We did a little bit of farm work in there. And then I went back down to Ellie on my own because I actually did travel the East Coast with my best friend, and then she went home and I started solo traveling. So I went back down to Ellie and I did 3 months of my 88 days, which I still have 11 days off. But we'll get back to 88 days in a minute. And now I am currently staying at my friend's house, although when you see this I will be in Melbourne because I am going to Melbourne on Sunday, which would have been like 2 weeks for you guys. Confusing, but yes, that is my travel so far. And next year I'm planning on doing like South Australia, WA and the Northern Territory. So yes, that is what I have done so far in 6 months, and that is just absolutely insane. Before I came out here, I saved and saved and saved. So you have to have, I think it's at least 5 grand in your bank to prove basically that if you ever need to come home or anything, that you can, and that you have enough sufficient funds for that. I saved around 12 grand just because I wanted to be kind of comfortable, and I didn't work for the first 2 months of my trip. So yeah, that's just how much I saved. You obviously don't have to save that much because if you come out on a working holiday visa, you can work when you're here. But maybe the more you have, the more flexible you can be with working, and you can have a little bit longer not working. So yeah, so I obviously applied for my working holiday visa. You do it online. I think it's about £300, I believe. I can't remember the exact amount, but I'll put it on screen for you guys. And it's just, you fill out a form online, and then yeah, you send it in with all the documents that they ask for, and mine came back really quick. Like, I'm not joking, in a matter of hours. So that was insane. But I think they do say that it can take a few months to come through. So maybe if you're planning on coming out here on a working holiday visa, just do it a few months beforehand, and then at least you know you'll get it. Because your visa doesn't actually start until you land in the country. So I think I got mine in December or January, and then I didn't come until May. But you do, oh, I must have got it in December, and then but then from the day you apply or the day it gets granted, you have to come within that year. But your year doesn't start until you get to Australia. So that is pretty cool. I also got travel insurance whilst I was back home, which can be pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially if you're coming out for a long period of time. I think we could only do ours for 18 months, and then after that I'll kind of have to figure out what I'm doing and maybe get more travel insurance. So yeah. Oh, that is a delicious coffee. Also, before I came out here, I obviously got my like backpack and like all the stuff that I needed to go in it. You should go and watch my packing video to see what I packed. But one mistake that I definitely did make is I would recommend getting a backpack. If you're going to get a backpack, you don't have to do a backpack, you can come out with a suitcase. We just thought it'd be easier with a backpack, is get one that opens up like a suitcase, because honestly it will save your life. And get packing cubes, because they are a lifesaver. Okay, let's talk about all the stuff that we did when we got here. So as soon as we got to the airport in Sydney, we got a memory card. We got a SIM card for our phones so that they would obviously work here and we could use 3G and everything. We just went with Vodafone because it was what it was in the airport, and we have Vodafone in England, so we kind of knew where we were going with that. But there is heaps and heaps of different options, so you can honestly just do whatever. So that was super duper easy. You just go up to them, ask for just the SIM, and then you set it up, and then you can put however much you want to put on it. And you can do a monthly plan, or you can just sort of pay each month and decide how much you want to pay each month. So that is what we did, and then at least I can kind of decide, okay, do I need as much data this month? No, I'll just put a little bit less on. The next thing that we did was got a bank card. We do have Monzo's. We did have Monzo. I'm saying we because I travelled with my best friend, but I should be saying I because I'm now here alone. So I got a bank card. We went with ANZ. We just went into the branch and opened a bank account. This just makes it easier for when you want to get a job, so that they can pay it into your Australian bank account. It's kind of crucial, to be honest, but you can use a Monzo. So whilst you're waiting for your card, get something like a travel card like a Monzo. I'd really recommend Monzo. How many times did I just say Monzo? But there is other options out there also. So opening up our bank accounts was really, really easy. I think we just had to go in with our passports, and then they helped us set it all up. The girl that we went with was so nice. And yeah, and it takes about a week to come in, and you can pick the branch. So the branch that you go in to open your account doesn't necessarily need to be the branch that your card is sent to. So I think we did ours in Byron Bay and then picked it up in maybe Brisbane. And we just said, oh, okay, where will we be in a week's time? We'll get it sent there. So that's what I did. That's what we did. That's what I suggest. Medicare. So if you are, I think it's just if you're from the United Kingdom, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But if you are from the UK, you can get a Medicare card, which basically means that you don't need to pay for like your GP bills and stuff if you go to bulk billing, because otherwise you do have to pay a portion of it. But if you go to bulk billing, they pay it straight to Medicare, like Medicare straight pays it. So that's a tip. I think my Medicare card took about 3 months to come. Luckily I have Casper, so I just sent it straight to her house, and then when I came I could pick it up. But if you know you're going to be in a place for one time for 3 months or so, like if you're doing your 88 days, then you could do it when you're there and get it sent there. I went into a Medicare centre. I think that's the easiest way to do it. I have a feeling that's the only way you can do it. I don't think you can go online. So yes. The other thing that you are going to need is your TFN, which is your tax file number. You need this to basically work. You can work without it for a certain amount of time, but I think you get taxed more. So it is definitely a good idea to get it sent. Let me turn that off. It is definitely a good idea to get it sorted as soon as possible. Again, I can't remember how long that took to come because I sent it here. So if you have somewhere that you can send it to, great. Again, if you're staying in one place for a bit of time, that's perfect. Or if you know you're going to be going somewhere in, say, I really don't know how long it took, maybe a few weeks, then get it sent to there. And you can always get it sent to a post office. So yeah. The other thing that jobs will ask for is a superannuation. So basically a superannuation is like a pension. It's a retirement trust, and from your job they will pay a percentage of whatever you earn. They'll pay a percentage to your superannuation, and I believe that it doesn't come out of your wage, it is on top of your wage. And when you leave Australia, if you decide to leave Australia, you can withdraw that money, so it is your money. And then obviously if you decide to stay and get permanent residency, then it will help out when you want to retire, and you'll have that money. So I think that's all the like admin-y bits, I believe. I can't think of anything else. So yeah, I think that's all the admin-y bits to start. So the fun part, the actual trips and the hostels and everything like that. So as I said, we went into Sydney first. Sydney has really good public transportation, like really good. So it's easy to get around the city and to get on buses and stuff. You will need an Opal card, and you can get that from train stations and stuff like that, but you need that because you top it up and then you just tap it on the public transport, and you can't get on buses. Like, it's not like, at least in Sydney and I think in the major cities, you can't pay cash, so you need that Opal card. And it's just easy because you can get an app or go online and just top it up from there, and then you can just tap and go. Another form of transportation that we used a lot was Greyhounds or Premier buses. They're essentially the same thing. Greyhounds are a little bit nicer though, but they are a teeny tiny bit more expensive, but you can get Wi-Fi. They have plug sockets in there, so like if you're on a long trip on the Greyhound, you can plug your phone in, and they just generally are a little bit nicer. We used Greyhounds all up the East Coast, just because that's easier and cheaper, to be honest, than flying everywhere. And we knew we wanted to do all the big stops up the East Coast. So yeah. Another form is you can obviously get a car, or you can rent a camper van, and that's really cool. I'm hoping that me and my friends are gonna do that when we're doing WA, because that's a really fun way to do it also, as you get to kind of see a little bit more because you're driving yourself. So yeah, that's a really cool way of doing it. But transport is really good in Australia, and a lot of places when you're there in the place, because you'll probably be staying central, you can walk to most things, and if not, there is public transport, so you should be sweet. Hostels. The dreaded hostels. Do you know what? They're not as bad as you may think. You do get some awful ones, like you really do, but I have stayed in a few really good hostels while I've been in Australia. I would say always check the cleanliness, always check the location, because you don't want to be right out in the sticks. Like, you want to be in central to wherever you're staying. And also check like if they do any events on the evenings, or I can't think what else, but like if they do say like a pizza night or a karaoke night, because that's a good way to meet friends and to get to know people without the pressure of kind of having to go up to them. That kind of breaks the ice for you. So I would definitely recommend checking all of those things. The cleanliness is not always as it says on the website, as I have learnt, but sometimes you kind of just have to get around that, and not much you can do really. Also, when you are in hostels, you can actually sometimes work for accommodation. So I think it's usually about 2 hours a week, a day. And it could be like on reception or cleaning the rooms, like changing the beds, cleaning the kitchen and the communal areas, and you get your accommodation for free. So sometimes that's a really good way to save some money, and you're only having to work 2 hours a day. So if you don't like want to get a job in that particular place, but you need to save a bit of money, it's a good way to do it. And you can meet all other backpackers that are working at the hostel, so that's another good way of meeting people and making friends. Also, if your hostel offers a activity or anything for free, do it. Honestly, do it. When we were in the Gold Coast, they offered free paddleboarding, and we did it, and it was honestly the best hour. It was so much fun, and we got to do paddleboarding all for free. So look, you're a backpacker, you're gonna be on a budget, you're gonna be scrimping and saving. If something's free, do it. Why not? Okay, let's talk about the 88 days. So before COVID, you had to do farm work. Now you can do hospitality and tourism as well, in certain areas. So farm work you can do anywhere, but hospitality and tourism has to be in either regional places, or there is a certain point where it's called, but I can't remember what it's called, but I basically just base it off of Airlie Beach and up. So if you go with that, you're sweet. But you can go on the government website, and there is a whole list of postcodes as to where it counts. So if you're staying in a place and you're thinking, oh, I want to do my 88 days, can I do it here? Then just go on the government website and check the postcode for that place, and if it counts, you're sweet. And if it's in hospitality and tourism, you're sweet. You can also download the app called the 88th Day, and each week you can put your hours in that you've worked, and it will basically calculate the amount of days that it counts towards that week, and then it will take it off your little counter. And that is a really good way of like keeping track of your 88 days. Let me show you. So this is what the app looks like, and I will screen record and then show you the app. So you go into it and you go on counter, and as you can see, I have 11 days left. But if you go up to the add button, you can add in the company that you're working for, and then just click on that, and then it will show you all of the weeks and then the hours you've worked them weeks. So if you go on to the plus, and then you just put in the week, the hours, and it will calculate how many days that is, and then you just add your pay slip, click save, and that will calculate, and it will take off the amount of days. So that's a really good app, I think, to calculate your hours. So if you do, I think it's 35, but on the app it says 30. If you work, but just go with 35 so you're safe. If you work 35 hours in a week, but say you only work 5 days, that will count as 7. So it's basically working full-time for 3 months, but it's not necessarily working 88 days. Again, there's loads on the government website, but it can be a little bit confusing. So download that app and you will be sorted. You need to do your 88 days if you want your 2nd year visa. And also it's a good way to get money in, even if it can be a little bit stressful like it was for me. If you want to know about my 88-day stress, then maybe go check out some of my videos. Yeah, we did try farm work for 3.5 weeks, but we got rained off for a week, so we actually only worked 10 days and we hated it. It was awful, and we weren't getting our days that quickly, and we knew we'd be there literally over 3 months, so we were like, nah, we're out. We are out. Another way of making friends is if you go on Facebook. Usually there is a page for a particular place that you are staying in, and if you ask to join that and then put on just a little post saying, hi, I'm Hayley, I'm 25, I'm from Northamptonshire, I've just moved to da-da-da, would love to meet up, would love to make some friends, let me know if you want to meet up. And I actually did that when I was in ℍ𝕗, and that is how I met my friend Sophie. So it definitely works, and it's definitely a good way of meeting people, and yeah, that is the best. My final little thing would be to not be scared. You know, I came out here with someone, and then Lindsay decided that she wanted to go home, which was absolutely fine, but I wasn't ready to go home. I knew I wanted to stay and travel more. So I became a solo traveler, and it was a little bit scary and a little bit hard to adjust to at first. But then once I had done it, it was absolutely fine. Like, it was so good. I met so many friends in Early Beach, like literally so many, that I absolutely love now and that I'm going to be seeing again. And you know, you just don't need to be scared. Like, you will have the best time ever, and if you're not enjoying it, you can go home. Like, it's not going to be like you failed or anything like that, because you still came out here and you still bit the bullet and did that. So that is an achievement in itself. But I can guarantee that you will love it, and you'll find people to travel with. 2 of my friends, they met in Sydney, which was their first stop, and they have traveled together ever since. So it's not like you're not going to meet people and make friends. Sometimes it can be hard if you're going to every place and having to make new friends, but that's part of the fun as well, because just imagine how many people you're going to meet and how many friends you're going to have by the end of it. And just have fun. You know, it is such a good experience. It is honestly the best fun ever, and just enjoy yourself. I hope that you found this video maybe even a little bit helpful. If you have any other questions about traveling or anything like that, then please do let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. bye.